everyone. Welcome back to the Commissioner's Couch podcast. Grab a seat. It's going to be great. We're so excited that you're here. How you doing? My name is David, and that is Ryan. How you doing, man?
Doing good, buddy. Doing good.
Good.
Worked all day on this today, so.
Yeah. Wednesdays, I feel like, just always drag on, so I get it.
Yeah.
So we're here to talk through the quarterly review of the NFL season. We have some really fun things to get through, but first, a word from our sponsors.
So we're brought to you by the Inside Edge Network. Once again, just grateful for them. LVBP Productions, and then Monster Moments Photography.com, MOSSOR Moments Photography.com. All right, go ahead.
Perfect. So, this whole episode is going to be a quarterly review of everything that's happening in the NFL. We're going to have a power rankings. We're going to talk through some players that we think are like the real deal and some that we think are really fake. And then we're going to talk through what was our last section? We're going to talk through some college players as well. See who are some prospects that you can maybe start eyeing in next year's draft class to get an edge up on drafts for next year and stuff like that. And then we're going to do FMFT. I can't talk today either. Fix my fantasy team.
Yep.
We got a lot in store for us today. But first, we're going to do a review of everything that we talked about last week. Hit on all of our picks that we had and see who did well and who didn't. So
like to hold ourselves accountable. We're not doing the same show as we did the last couple shows. We're gonna review what we did the last show, and then we're gonna use, just like David said, something different, just a quarterly review here. So last week we did a segment Hunks and Skunks. So the Hunks being players that you think are going to play or do well this past week, and then Skunks are ones that you don't think will do well. My Hunks were Omarion Hampton and Quentin Johnston. Omarion Hampton, 12 rushes for 128 yards, a touchdown, 5 catches for 37 yards, which was 25 fantasy points. So I definitely hit on that. And then Quentin Johnson, 92% snap count, 8 catches, 12 targets, 98 yards, and a touchdown for nearly 20 fantasy points as well. So that was a good hit.
Yeah, those are good.
Who are your hunks?
I had Caleb Williams, Trey Tucker, and Jonathan Taylor. Caleb Williams, I think, was okay. Middle of the road, I thought. Trey Tucker was a complete dud. I thought he might be able to stack what he did 2 weeks ago now. He did not, and so that was a big letdown. And Jonathan Taylor has been very consistent and very studly all year, so very much out.
The skunks I had for last week, Ladd McConkey and Dak Prescott. Ladd McConkey, 92% snap count, only 1 catch on 6 targets for 11 yards, only 1.6 fantasy points. He's irrelevant at this point, which is unfortunate. And then Dak Prescott was my second skunk, and I was very much wrong on Dak Prescott. 31 of 40, 319 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 rushes for 2 yards, and a rushing touchdown. Had over 40 fantasy points. Dude killed it. So I was wrong on that one. So.
Yeah, he actually looked really, really efficient, which was crazy to see. But, my skunks were Drake London, which was a bad pick because he did really well, as did most of the Falcons team. Brock Bowers, who led the team in targets, but still hasn't really, exploded for any value for fantasy yet, so very much a miss, I think, last week. He still hasn't caught a touchdown this year, just not really acting like himself, so I'm curious to see what's going to happen with him the rest of the year. And Saquon Barkley. So all 3 of those were not really good skunk picks by me.
All right. Last week, I also did the long shot lineup. Long shot lineup is just a basic fantasy lineup that our guys aren't usually the top of the pack. They're just guys who, we think that could have a good week, in this next week. So these are obviously players we're doing a review. So these are players that have already played for this last week. My quarterback was Bo Nix. He went 29 of 42 for 326 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, 6 rushes for 7 yards, and a rushing touchdown, 32 fantasy points. I crushed that one for sure.
Yeah, absolute stud. My quarterback was Jackson Dart. Mixed results is maybe the best way of putting it.
Sure.
He looked better than Russell Wilson, maybe. He looked like he was able to utilize his wide receivers well. Ran the ball really well too, but still wasn't able to get a win. And so, I think he looked okay. But I'm excited to see how he could grow as the season goes on. So
no, for sure. And I mean, it's a rookie first time playing. So I mean, didn't play bad. Didn't play bad for sure. Had a touchdown pass to Theo Johnson, looked good. And obviously, the emotions of losing Malik Neighbors that game too. I mean, yeah, sure. My running back, I picked Cam Scatterbu, 75% snap count, 25 rushes for 79 yards, 2 catches for 11 yards, 12 fantasy points. Not bad. Pretty good.
Yeah.
Throw him in there as a flex, whatever. That would have been a good pick. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And he has definitely emerged as the top fantasy option moving forward for that team. Maybe Wan'Dale Robinson too, if he can get more targets now that Malik Neighbors is out. But definitely, excited about Cam Scatterbu. My running back was Trey Benson. He was the new starter for the Cardinals, and he really didn't do much. He was efficient with his touches, but he just didn't really get a lot of touches. I'm pulling his stats right now. Hold on 1 second. I had them up earlier, then my sleeper crashed on me. Had 8 carries for 4.38 yards a carry, and also had 5 catches for 19 yards. So yeah, not great. But now Trey Benson's also on IR. So yeah, not a great pick for the long shot, but we'll see.
Yeah, I mean now the entire backfield is in question, losing Connor as well. So I mean, you got Amari DeMarco and Michael Carter there. So I mean, we'll see. I don't know. Wide receiver I picked for the long shot lineup last week. I picked George Pickens. He had a 90% snap count, 8 catches on 11 attempts for 164 yards and 2 touchdowns for 29.5 fantasy points. Once again, crushed that one. So
crushed.
Had a really good game.
Yeah, your long shot lineup was really good last week. I picked Sterling Shepard. He was maybe is the best way of putting it. I don't remember stats off the top of my head, but definitely Mika Egbuka definitely carried that team in receiving. So not the stellar performance that we were looking for, but still was okay. Wide receiver 2 for the team. So
4 catches, 80 yards last week, David.
Yeah, the targets is what concerns me. He had 80 yards, which is good, but the targets is concerning because I don't know if that'll be able to go up or not. So
yeah, I mean with Godwin coming back last week too. I mean, sure.
Yeah.
I mean, as the probably number 3 option, with Godwin getting back in form there as well. So my second wide receiver for the long shot lineup last week, I picked Deebo Samuel. He had an 86% snap count, 6 catches on 6 attempts, 72 yards and a touchdown for 10.75 fantasy points. Once again, not a bad hit at all. So
yeah, that was really good. This next one was a complete goose egg, and that is Parker Washington by me. Literally had 2 targets and 0 catches. So that was it. 1 rush attempt for -1 yard. So
yeah,
complete dud. Don't listen to me on the long shot lineup. Is what
that whole offense is just weird in general. So
yeah, and I don't understand how they're 3-1. That's weird.
I mean, they have a good defense. That's it. My tight end from last week for the long shot lineup, I had Chig Okonkwo. I can't say his name properly. Tight end for the Tennessee Titans. 70% snap count, 1 catch on 3 targets for 4 yards, 0.9 fantasy points. That was my goose egg as well. So
yeah, tight end's always tricky. I feel like my tight end was also just Oronde Gadsden. I don't know how to say his last name, but he had 2 catches on 3 targets for 16 yards. So also really not great, like 3 points fantasy wise. So yeah, another dud.
And then finally, my flex, I picked Jordan Mason last week. 62% snap count, 16 carries, 57 yards, 3 catches, 15 yards, and a fumble for 8.7 fantasy points. That not really a good pick. So
yeah. Not great at all. I don't remember who my flex was because I accidentally deleted it while I was copying my document over. So we'll say it was a dud.
There you go. We'll switch over. Lastly, we're just going to talk about the legacy lineup we chose. That's basically for daily fantasy sports. Just a quarterback, running back, receiver, and tight end who we thought could possibly score well last week. I picked quarterback Caleb Williams for last week, 22-37 for 212 yards and a touchdown, 1 interception, 8 carries, 12 yards, 14.9 fantasy points. Not really that great of a pick, to be honest. So none of these for me were. So.
This one was actually pretty good for me. I had Bo Nix as my quarterback, so you picked him on the long shot. I picked him for the legacy, and he just balled out. So absolutely good. My running back that I picked was Omarion Hampton. He actually did really well filling in as the bell cow back for the Chargers last week. I believe he had – I'm pulling up the stats. I believe he had a touchdown. Yes, he did. He had 12 carries for 128 yards and a touchdown. So had 26 points fantasy-wise. Yeah. Absolutely crushed it.
That's a good pick. I picked Jonathan Taylor, 17 carries for 76 yards, 5 catches, 20 yards, 12 fantasy points. Once again, not really that great of a pick for this year. Or this past week. Obviously, a great pick for this year. Jonathan Taylor's a really good running back. But last week, not so much.
Yeah. My wide receiver that I picked was Rome Odunze. And Rome Odunze has been on fire. He has had a touchdown, at least 1 touchdown every week so far this season. He had 4 catches for 70 yards and a touchdown last week, so he had 15 points fantasy. So pretty good. He is now the number 3 wide receiver on the year, and the Bears are going into a bye week, and hopefully he can keep the momentum going.
Yeah, Rome's been playing really, really well this year so far. So, my receiver was Jackson Smith-Njigba, 4 catches on 5 targets for 79 yards, 11 fantasy points. Pretty good overall day, but not super great for DFS. So, yeah. And then my tight end was Hunter Henry, 2 catches on 2 targets for 39 yards and a touchdown for 10.9 fantasy points. Obviously, very reliant on that touchdown there. So,
yeah. Still pretty good, though, fantasy-wise. My tight end was Tyler Warren. He actually had a great week last week. He had 5 catches for 70 yards and a rushing touchdown, mind you. So very, very good, like 17 points fantasy-wise. So, yeah, very great week there.
And then lastly, just a review from last week, we had our creepers. I had two of them. Let's go over my first one, Zach Ertz. I said stay away from Zach Ertz for this past week. He had 2 catches on 4 targets for 21 yards and a fumble for 5.10 fantasy points. I think I was pretty right on that one. So
Yeah. My top creeper that I had was Devin Singletary. I feel like a lot of people kind of jumped on that ship
Sure.
to see like, oh, maybe they'll split with Cam Scatterboo, and he did not. Cam was running away with that job, so I'm glad that stayed away from Devin Singletary.
Yeah. And then my last creeper, kind of controversial one, but I freaking hit on it and I was right. So get over it. I picked Jamar Chase, 96% snap count, 5 catches on 8 targets for 23 yards for 4.80 fantasy points. I told you guys to not start him. I told you were going to because he was your first overall pick and blah, blah, blah. But he's a dud with this quarterback. And you got to learn he's not playable right now. Jamar Chase is not playable. And I proved it again last week. So that
whole team right now is just unreliable.
Right.
Yeah. And then my other creeper to avoid was Tyler Shough. He, as the whole Saints organization right now, is just kind of a mess. So I'm glad that I've stayed away from him.
Cool. All right.
Yeah. I did want to say I did have a good sleeper pick last week, though. Amari DiMarcado for the Cardinals.
Well, now he looks like he's going to be a starter. So
yeah, and I gave you guys the name a week early, so there you go. He was literally on the field for that entire last drive that the Cardinals had that resulted in a catchy touchdown for him. So yeah, definitely going to be somebody to value now.
No, good. That was a good pick. I did not think it was going to be a good pick, obviously, but injuries happen, and unfortunately, Trey Benson's on IR now, so they're looking for a new starter, and he looks to be possibly that guy. So.
All right, so let's jump into our quarterly review. We're really excited for this. This is something new, and I think it's going to keep things fresh for us. So we're going to talk through who's real and who's fake this year in fantasy football, talking through at least one player in each position. And then we're going to do a power rankings of all 32 NFL teams and see where we agree with teams and where we don't. And then we'll talk through some college prospects that we think you should start watching for the second half of the college football season this year to keep an eye on for drafting for next year. And then after that, we'll do our Fix My Fantasy team. So, so Mosser, tell me, who's real, who's fake? Who you got?
I mean, clearly, who's real? Josh Allen, obviously, the quarterback one of fantasy football right now. I mean, the guy's unstoppable. 85 for 121. He's got 964 yards, 7 touchdowns, only 1 interception, and he's that dual threat. 31 rushes for 159 yards, 3 rushing touchdowns. He's the number 1 fantasy quarterback right now for a reason. He's on fire. So that's who's definitely real right now.
Absolutely. I went for somebody who was not in like the top position, but I went with Drake May. Still like top 10 overall quarterback wise, coming into his second season as an NFL quarterback. That's a season where a lot of people could show some regression, but he's definitely shown more improvement than he has regression. Sure. His talented wide receivers are not as talented as like other quarterbacks have around the league, but he's still finding a way to get fantasy relevant and being a quality starter this year. So I definitely think he's the real deal. And I'm sad that I just traded him to you in our Dynasty League.
I'm so happy that I just recently acquired Drake May from some fool who traded him to me. So I'm just kidding. Who's real? Quentin Johnston. Is he real? Is he not? He's real.
He's real.
He's real.
The real deal.
22 catches, 337 yards, 4 touchdowns. He's the 4th ranked fantasy wide receiver right now for a good reason. He's catching everything. Like I said, I think he took BTJ's hands, and now he's that guy. So that guy's it's crazy because last year, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, no way we would say this, but he has just emerged. And not only is he the guy for that team, but he might be one of the best in the NFL, which is just insane. So
yeah, absolutely.
Quentin Johnston.
You know who else is real?
Who's real?
Rome Odunze is real. The dude has caught a touchdown pass in every week so far in the first 4 weeks of fantasy football. I don't know if that's sustainable, but so far he has definitely dominated as a wide receiver 1 on the Bears offense and is the number 3 wide receiver in fantasy football. So the dude is real, and I'm starting him for the rest of the league and so excited that I drafted him in Dynasty.
Nice. You know who's not real?
Oh, but no.
Do you want to know? Trey Tucker is not
He is not real.
The hype is not real for Trey Tucker. Yes, he's got 15 catches, 224 yards, and 4 touchdowns. He's a top 10 fantasy receiver right now. But Geno Smith sucks. 17th ranked quarterback in the league, and, I mean, that offense is abysmal. The offensive line is awful, and you just cannot trust that offense. You cannot trust Trey Tucker, who's like 5'9" and 120 pounds soaking wet. You can't trust him. No.
Can't.
He's not real.
Yeah. Am I doing real or fake here? Which one am I doing?
You asking me? You can do it.
I'm asking you. Which one do you want?
Do a fake one.
Fake? Okay. You know who's fake?
Who's fake?
Real fake?
Real fake. Who is it?
Daniel Jones. He is the biggest fraud out there right now in the NFL. Yes, the team's winning. Oh, no, it is not sustainable.
No.
He's not going to be able to sustain the type of efficiency that he's had so far this year. We saw cracks in it last week, right? The team started turning the ball over. He threw a pick. I don't think it's going to last as long as it has gone so well for him this year, but I don't think it's going to last. I think he is the biggest phony out there for quarterbacks, and it's not going to end well this year.
Big fat phony. No way. No way. Daniel Jones is the truth. He has brought life to his career again. He is going the Sam Darnold, Geno Smith route, the Baker Mayfield route. This guy's the real deal, and he's going to make some money in the NFL.
We will
You
see.
want to know who else is real?
Who?
James Cook.
James Cook is real.
I talked about James Cook at the beginning of the season saying there's no way this guy is going to continue what he did last year. No way it's sustainable. Nearly 20 touchdowns. No way. This guy's got 5 touchdowns this year, and I look like an idiot. He's the number 1 running back in the league, and he just might be because, he's just continuing to get those touchdowns.
Yeah.
75 attempts, 401 yards, and 5 touchdowns. Dude's a beast. That guy's real.
Absolutely. Yeah, I agree. You know who else is real, though, at the running back position?
This
Travis
is-
Etienne.
Give me it.
Travis Etienne.
There you
He's
go.
real. He was the running back 1, 3 years ago? Then he just had a terrible season, and everybody thought, oh, this guy's dead now, just not going to be good. And now he's coming back as the running back 8 overall in fantasy football. He has scored in 3 out of the last 4 weeks. He is averaging over 7 yards a carry for his first 4 games of the season, and he's averaging 3 catches a game. So the dude is real. He's going to be a weapon for that team, and honestly, he's kind of the reason why they're finding success so far, because of that running game specifically with him.
Nice. Good pick.
Thank you.
All right. Are we going to do our power rankings? Quarterly?
Yes, I think it's time.
Let's do it. All right. So this, 4 games throughout the season so far. So it's the quarterly rankings. So David and I have not told each other our rankings. We're going to compare and see all 32 teams to what our power rankings are. Do you want to go first with number 1?
Yeah, number 1. This should not be a surprise at all. And if you have something different, I will be actually shocked. But it's the Buffalo Bills. They are absolutely the most powerful team right now in the NFL. They can run the ball. They can throw the ball. Their defense is flying all over the field, making plays. They just look unstoppable. Not to mention their special teams has come through in some clutch moments so far. So I'm definitely all in on the Bills being the number 1 in the power rankings. I will.
All right.
I'll drive a table to prove my point.
Yeah. Number 1 for me is the Bills. 4-0. Second best offense. First best rushing offense. Jonathan Taylor's incredible. Their rushing defense is something that they need to work on. They're 31st in that, but they are the first best passing defense, which makes their overall defense 11th overall. Josh Allen, as I said earlier, is the number 1 ranked fantasy quarterback in the league right now. Same thing with James Cook, is number 1 running back in the league for fantasy points. This team is electric. They're 4-0, and they don't seem to be slowing down anytime soon. So
Not at all. I'm going to go and give you 2 through 5 now, so that way we can get through this a little bit quicker. And then you tell me what you have for your 2 through 5. I've got 2 the Eagles, 3 the Lions, 4 the Chargers, and 5 the 49ers.
Wow, we are off.
Oh, no.
All right, 2, I have the Lions.
Okay.
3, I have the Eagles.
Okay.
4, I have the Rams. And 5, I have the Buccaneers.
Okay.
Any of those surprise you? You want me to
No,
explain?
not really, because I have the Bucks at 6 and the Rams at 7, so I'm not surprised at all.
All right. Go ahead. You do 6, 7, and 8, and then we can explain a couple of them.
All right, yeah. So 6, I have the Bucks. 7, I have the Rams, and 8, I have the Seahawks.
Nice. 6, I have the Colts at 3-1. I think Daniel Jones, like I said, is the truth. 7th ranked fantasy football quarterback right now. Jonathan Taylor is the 2nd ranked running back right now. I have an absolute beast. Defense is not that great, 17th best defense, but their offense is looking really, really good. So I like the Colts. 7, I got the 49ers. I think they have just been incredible literally incredible for all the injuries that they've sustained so far this season.
Yep.
I mean, they have the 5th ranked total offense right now and the 5th best defense. And like I said, their offense, let's name the injuries. George Kittle, Brock Purdy, Mac Jones now is hurt. Brock Purdy's out again. Brandon Ayuk, Ricky Pearsall's out, and Juwan Jennings is out this week. So that's their entire offense. But yet they're still 5th ranked total offense.
Wow.
It's crazy. I mean, CMC obviously is Greg Jennings put the team on his back toe with a broken leg type of dude. Obviously, he's the 3rd best fantasy.
He's the real one.
He's the 3rd best fantasy running back right now. So obviously that's helping a lot. But nonetheless, how is this offense the 5th ranked total offense in the NFL? 368 total yards per game and 8 touchdowns. Insane.
Wow, that's wild.
And then finally the Seahawks at 8 as well. And you had the Seahawks at 8.
Yep,
eight
nice.
There, so.
Yeah.
All right.
Man, you're high on the Colts, man.
I love the Colts. I think their offense is just incredible. Tyler Warren's my bookie, as I say every week. So.
I think so. I have the Colts here at 9. So let me just talk on that for a minute.
Yeah,
I think I think the team that is surrounding Daniel Jones is making up for Daniel Jones's lack of talent, in all honesty.
You're wrong.
I think we saw cracks in that last week when they played the Rams. He threw for 2 picks, was 24 of 33, only had 260 yards. Like, he's efficient because he has good weapons around him and because they have a strong run game in Jonathan Taylor. But I don't think he's the type of guy that's like, hey, I'm going to go win the game because I'm Daniel Jones, you know? But I think he is a person that you can lose games because of. And so that's why I have the Colts outside of the top 7, top 8. I think there's potential, but I'm not really buying it. So
I'm bought. I put my whole house in. Let's go. Let's go Colts.
All in. All right, who'd you have at 9 and 10?
9, I had the Chargers, and at 10, I had the Packers.
Okay.
Yeah, Chargers, really good offense. Obviously, I think Amarian Hampton is just going to step into that role and get more comfortable and just be a beast. And he's already currently the 11th ranked fantasy running back, which is just awesome. Quentin Johnson, as I said, is the 4th ranked fantasy running back or receiver, and he does not look to be slowing down at all. Packers, we'll see. There's a lot of injuries, but I mean, they have a lot of really good players on their offense, and they have the second best rushing defense, allowing only 77.5 rushing yards per game and only 2 rushing TDs. So that defense is very, very good. So
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you got the Chargers at 9. I have them at 4, so that's a pretty wide discrepancy.
And I really, really like the Chargers. I'm surprised by that as well. So
yeah. All right. So at 10, I had the Steelers. Somehow, some way, the Steelers are probably going to win the AFC North. Probably because the AFC North is just really bad right now.
You have the Steelers where at 10?
At 10.
Let me keep scrolling. I haven't seen them yet.
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers is looking good right now. That defense is causing turnovers and making plays. Special teams is coming through for them. Like, they just look good. Well-coached team right now, so I have to have them at 10. And then at 11, I have the Jags. 12, I have the Packers. And 13, I have the Chiefs.
Nice. Okay. Excuse me. 11, I have the Commanders at 2 and 2.
Okay.
I like the Commanders. I think, they would be higher if Jaden Daniels was healthy. Obviously, last week I said Terry McLaurin had a quadricep injury probably 45 times. And I just think that they will be a better team going into the second, or I guess the 3 quarters left, not the second half. It's only 4 games. Nonetheless, Bill Crossmare, I think, will be very good. Deebo Samuel looks to be electric. Zach Ertz is a top 10 tight end right now. It's good offense. Defense is a little lackluster, but I think there's a lot of room to grow there. And as soon as Jaden Daniels comes in, that team goes up way higher because that guy is electric. So, and he should be playing this week. I saw he's practicing. So.
Yeah, it should be. That's a team, too, that I think can definitely climb a lot in their rankings once they get their players back. I think they got a few defensive players that are also hurt right now. So I think they'll keep climbing.
So at 12, I have the Chiefs, and 13, I have the Broncos.
Gotcha. Nice. Yeah, Chiefs is another team suffering with a lot of injuries right now in their playmakers. And so another team that could definitely climb up. For right now, I think where we got them at 12 and 13 is pretty good.
Yeah, the running game sucks, too. They need to figure that out. So
they do. Rookie, I forget his name, but he looks somewhat dynamic, so he might get
Rashard Smith, the guy on my team who, if you followed the Voice of the Land podcast, I did a huge, probably a 45-minute breakdown on that player before the draft. So, oops, know about him. But Pacheco, 41st ranked running back. Kareem Hunt's 43rd. They're just guys at this point. It's unfortunate because Pacheco was playing really well until he got that injury last year, and now he's just a former shell of himself. We'll see. But Rashard Smith looks to be really, really good. A former receiver, and he's big, nasty dude. I like him. So
yeah, he's good. So at 14, I had the Broncos. 15, I have the Commanders. 16, I have the Vikings, and 17, I have the Ravens.
Dude,
yeah,
we are so off.
We are.
So we are so off.
Oh no. So the Vikings I have at 16. Because I think that their defense has just been the best playmaker on their field, even over Justin Jefferson. They've caused, I think, 3 touchdowns so far this year, just off of their defense. So they're doing really, really well, creating a lot of turnovers. One of their players had 2 pick sixes in one game. So their defense is just flying all over the field. And I think if they can figure out things on the offense, get healthy with J.J. McCarthy, I think that they could definitely bounce back and get climbing up in the power rankings. Now the Ravens I have at 17 here because they just kind of seem a little lost, so I put them right in the middle of the pack, but on the lower side of the middle of the pack. Their offense should be dynamic, but it's not. Their running game is good, but there's turnovers, and their defense is kind of embracing this bend don't break mentality, but they're breaking a lot more than they should. So I just don't know what to make of the Ravens right now, so I just put them 17, middle of the pack.
All right. At 14, I have the Falcons. I honestly could make an argument that they should be top 10, but I'm not going to. I mean, they have the 7th ranked total offense and the 2nd best defense. They have, a really good team overall. They're 2-2. I mean, Drake London, it took him a while to get in. I think that's obviously the big factor there, and obviously Michael Penix as well, throwing as many interceptions as touchdowns. But like Bijan, they have Kyle Pitts, they have even Darnell Mooney. They have a really good team, and like I said, 7th ranked offense and 2nd best defense. Like they could be argued to be higher. So, 15, I have the Patriots, and then 16, I have the Jaguars.
Gotcha. Yeah, you're not going to like where I have the Falcons because I have them right here at number 18 for me. I think if they can learn to embrace the running game more, I think that they will definitely shoot up more power rankings. I think maybe not putting too much on Michael Penix's plate throughout this mid part of the season will be really, really good for him, and they can catch some momentum going into the postseason. So I still believe in them, but for right now, I have them ranked really low. It's very rare that an NFL team puts up 0 points in a game, and they did 2 weeks ago. So hard for me to kind of be all excited for them right now. And then at 19, I have the Cardinals, and at 20, I have the Patriots.
All right. At 17, I have the Steelers. You had them at 10, right?
I did. That's true.
No way. 29th ranked offense, 28th ranked defense. I mean, Aaron Rodgers is old. Yes, he's thrown, quite a bit of touchdowns compared to interceptions, and DK had a good game last week. But Jaylen Warren's coming off an injury. We'll see. I thought he looked really good, especially catching the ball in the backfield. I cannot talk today. Sorry. It's been a very long day.
I get it. Yeah.
Been a very long day. Nonetheless, I do like their offense, but their defense, at least the first 3 weeks for me, did not play well. I didn't think at all. Last week they played okay. I'm not a fan of this team. Obviously, I'm a Browns fan, so I don't know. 17 is where they're sitting to sit right now. Their offense is not ranked high. Their defense is not ranked high. Yes, they're 3-1, but that's an anomaly, I think. So,
yeah.
Vikings, I have 18. Bears, I have 19, and then I have the Ravens all the way down at 20.
Ooh, nice. Okay.
That defense is awful.
Yes.
31st worst. That's so bad. The Ravens defense, the defense that everyone, strikes fear into most teams, 31st worst defense after 4 weeks. That's awful. They've given up 16 total touchdowns. That's crazy.
Yeah, they are not great.
Yeah.
And
Derrick Henry sucks. So and I traded him away.
Yeah, I took him from you. So at 21, I have the Bears, a team that they could also jump up here, depending on if they get on a streak or not after their bye week this week. And then at 22, I had the Cowboys, 23, the Texans, 24, the Dolphins, and 25, the Panthers. These are all teams that I'm just like, I really don't know what to make of them. Everything from like 21 to 25. You can mix them up if you want and put them in a different order, but they're all just kind of like this very meh, bleh, whatever tier. So,
sure. Yeah, 21, I have the Cardinals. I have the Texans at 22. I felt bad for the Texans. I feel bad for CJ Stroud. I feel like he's just not in a good situation right now with the offensive line, and it's affecting him. I really like Stroud a lot. Cowboys, I have at 23, and then the Bengals at 24, and the Giants at 25.
Okay, nice. You're higher on the Giants than me.
Yeah, I don't know why the Bengals are high. Honestly, they should be much lower. But
you'll see where I have them, and you'll be like, that's probably
they're so bad. Yeah, they should probably be last, honestly. But
close to that for me. So where was I? 25. 26, I have your Cleveland Browns. I think their defense is what keeps them in games. If they can figure something out on offense, they could definitely be a lot more competitive. So right now they're at 26. 27, I have the Raiders. 28, the Giants. 29, the Bengals, and 30, the Jets.
That's good picks. Yeah. Bengals should be lower on my end. I don't know what I was thinking keeping them up there that high. That offense is just garbage,
and their defense,
the defense is even worse. So what? Yeah,
looks like a high school defense. They're so bad.
Yeah, really. I mean, Bengals 32nd ranked total offense, giving away 205 yards per game and 7 total touchdowns. 30th ranked in passing offense and 32nd in rushing offense. But their defense, don't worry, because they're 30th best overall, averaging almost 400 yards per game and 15 total touchdowns. And just 30th for passing and 26th for rushing. So just really, really bad. Yeah, I have them at 24. I'm definitely gonna move them. They're 31. They suck. Yeah, forget the Bengals. At 26, I have the Panthers. I like the team. I like the offense. I think that they're just maybe 1 or 2 pieces away from being a lot better. I think their defense is pretty good. I think. 27, I have the Browns. That defense is killer, as I said. David said, I mean, the top defense allowing only 222.5 yards per game is really, really good. They're playing a bend and hopefully not break. And unfortunately, our offense is not staying on the field long enough. Clearly, now Dylan Gabriel is going to start. I think that's a huge mistake for this week, especially going to London and playing early. But hey, who am I? I don't know. We'll see.
Hey, it can't get any worse, right?
Well, it can when you're playing a rookie behind that terrible offensive line against a decent defense. So
yeah.
In a place where he, his first start is going to be in a different country. That's just stupid to me. I don't know though. Whatever.
It is wild.
28, I have the Jets. 29, I have the Raiders. 30, I have the Saints. 31. I have the Titans, and my final team is the Dolphins at 32.
Oh, interesting. My last two teams, I had the Titans at 31 and the Saints at 32. I do think the Titans are going to get it together. I think that they are just trying to figure things out. Cam Ward is still really young and still a little bit raw, it looks like, but I think he's going to get things figured out. They've got some good weapons. Getting Tajay Spears back from IR, I think, might be a help for the run game and give him a little bit of a boost and take things off of his Cam Ward's plate for a little bit. L.A.K.O. Manor looks like a good steal for the draft for them. Calvin Ridley's still there. Chigo Kwankwo looks good. Like, I think there's pieces there. Their defense may not be the stout defense that they are, but I think if they can figure things out on offense and figure out how to unlock Cam Ward and make him feel comfortable and confident, they could definitely jump up. But the Saints are atrocious. They are definitely trying to get the first pick overall next year. So
am I. Go Browns. or no Browns. Whatever.
No Browns. And don't go Jags either.
Yeah, screw the Jags 3-1. Who the heck do you think you are? Bull crap.
Stop it. Stop.
Travis Hunter is not playing well right now. You should not be 3-1. BTJ sucks this year. What the heck? All right, so that was our power rankings. Sorry.
Yeah, and if you agree or disagree, please let us know in the comments. Tag us on X or Facebook or Instagram.
David has the Steelers at 10, so he's definitely wrong. So
you should definitely, gaslight me for that, for sure. So our next segment that we're going to get into, we're going to do some digging into next year's rookie class. Find some draft diamonds that you can put on your radar for fantasy teams next year. So we're going to talk through some college players. Monster's going to talk through some quarterbacks and running backs that he really likes for next year. And I'm going to highlight some wide receivers and tight ends for next year that you should start watching this year to see what their tape looks like, see if the talent's going to translate to the NFL or not, and really figure it out for yourself. So we're going to give you some names. Write them down if you want. But definitely watch them as the season progresses for college.
And we'll do this throughout the year too. So some names we might, no crap, that's a no-brainer. But then we'll get into like some, nitty-gritty, prospects for sure as the season goes on. So yeah, all right. So I'll do a quarterback first. So like David said, these are players that we like from college football for fantasy next year. My first one for quarterback is Lenore Sellers. He is my quarterback one. If he declares, I do. He's 6'3", 240 pounds, and runs a 4.6 40. Really big, really fast. He's mean. In 2024 at South Carolina, he completed 196 passes for 2,534 yards and 18 touchdowns compared to 7 interceptions. And he also carried the ball 166 times for 674 yards and 7 rushing touchdowns. Tell me that's not what we need. A big, what the Browns 240-pound beast who can run the ball like Derrick Henry out there.
And has a cannon on his shoulder.
Cannon for an arm. This year, 58 for 87 for 886 yards already, 4 touchdowns, 1 interception, 48 carries for 98 yards and 1 touchdown. That's a lot, but he's just doing short runs and stuff here. The offensive line isn't that great at South Carolina right now. There is rumors that he might wait until the 2027 draft to become draft. Well, he'll be draft eligible this year, but to come out, depending on where he is prospect wise, and also how much money he can get from NIL. You'll see a lot more players doing that, going the route of
transfer portal.
Portal, and so we'll see. Positives, he has really good, like David said, he's a cannon for an arm. Really good arm talent with great velocity. He can drive the ball 60 yards like it's nothing. This guy can just with a flick, think of Jamarcus Russell, but not a bust. That's what I think right now. He's an electric runner as well, has great acceleration, and is just very, very powerful. He'll break any arm tackling like you're not going to be able to break, and that's invaluable for a quarterback, especially, in the NFL. Great pocket presence as well. He just has a knack for evading defenders and, getting the ball out. Some negatives, he can sometimes play too fast. Occasionally he needs to slow down just to process what's happening around him, better, use his mind just as fast as his body. And also he can rely on his physical abilities a little bit too much sometimes, which can force him to be more confident in his arm, throwing a tight coverage and stuff like that. Just there's things that can be coached out of him. I really, really like him. Right now there aren't any quarterbacks who have really broken away from the pack for next year's draft. But if I'm picking a quarterback right now, I'm picking Lenore Sellers. So.
Yeah, I love Lenore Sellers. He's not my top quarterback, but I really do like him.
Yeah, you like Drew Aller, I know.
I do. And it was the thing that you mentioned there at the end for Sellers that's really important is his processing. He sometimes processes things so fast in his brain that his reaction in how he's playing can't really keep up sometimes. And I just think that speaks to how smart he is and how quick of a processor he is. And then he just finds himself making some silly mistakes because of that. But I do think he's really talented, really smart, can pick up an offense and read a defense really well. So
he's got a really
really high.
He's got a really, really good receiver too, who is questionable about his hands that I almost guarantee you're going to talk about later.
Yeah, I definitely will. So.
I know you too well. David and I don't go over these prospects or anything, but I know him too well. I know exactly who he's going to talk about.
Yeah, that you do. So
All right, I have two more quarterbacks real quick. My second quarterback, Fernando Mendoza, 6'5", 225. Dude, this guy, I really, really, really like Fernando. Oh my God. Fernando, sorry. 6'5", 225, 2023, played for Cal. 153 passes for 1,708 yards, 14 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, 49 carries for 86 yards and 2 rushing touchdowns. 2024, he also played for Cal. Much better. 265 passes for 3,004 yards, so almost doubled his yards. 16 touchdowns and 6 interceptions, so almost broken half his interceptions as well. 87 carries for 105 yards and 2 touchdowns as well. This year, he transferred over to Indiana. Indiana's a top school in the nation right now. 89 for 122, 1,208 yards, 16 touchdowns, and 1 interception. So he already matched his career record for touchdowns in a season already after 5 games. 30 carries for 102 yards and 2 rushing touchdowns. He's really, really good. I think he's probably the Heisman favorite right now. I think we talked about this the first week, but there's different kinds of like fantasy football leagues, and there's actually college fantasy football, and there's leagues called Devy, which is like a developmental league where you draft players and then from college and then farm them into your dynasty league for the NFL. And then there's something called the C2C league as well, which is a campus to Canton. So basically you have a dynasty league for your NFL and a dynasty league for college, and you draft all your college players and they play as their own league. But once they graduate or go to the NFL, then they go over to your dynasty league. Well, I've known about Fernando Mendoza since 2023, and I've had him on my team. And now, everyone else
reaping the benefits.
Everyone else is funny about this guy. Once he transfers over to Indiana, he's a beast. Yeah. Positives, he has incredible arm strength that makes the ball zip off his hand with great velocity. I mean, 6'5", 225. He doesn't have the thickest frame, but he's a big guy. Very, very, very accurate. And very smart. He leads the huddle with command. He doesn't have issues with audibles at all. He leads and commands the offense, and everyone listens to him. So that's really, really good. Ideal frame for NFL quarterback. I just think he needs to fill out a little bit more. And like I said, he's gotten significantly better each year that he's played in college, showing growth, maturation in the position. From basically doubling his yards from one year to the next, and then he's already, after 5 games, matched his touchdowns that he's had in his career for a single season. That's really, really good. Negatives: needs to bulk up. Great frame for a quarterback. Needs to fill that frame. And then he can hold on to the ball sometimes, just trying to make a play with his arm. So he'll just have to be coached out of that. But Fernando Mendoza, the Indiana quarterback, is a really, really good player that you should watch for the draft next year.
I like it. Who's your last guy? You got a quarterback?
Yes. All right. I'll go a little faster. Jaden Maiva, 6'4", 230. He plays for USC quarterback. 4.7, 5.40 time. He played for UNLV in 2023. He had over 3,000 yards and 17 touchdowns and 10 interceptions. He also rushes the ball pretty good. 73 times for 277 yards and 3 touchdowns. Transferred over to USC. 2024, last year, he took over when Caleb Williams went to the NFL. 101 passes for 1,201 yards, 11 touchdowns and an interception, 20 carries for 45 yards and 4 rushing touchdowns. And then this year, he has almost 100 passes for 1,587 yards. So he has already broken over last year's yards by 300 yards, 11 touchdowns and only 1 interception. So that shows me at UNLV, 17 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, and then last year and this year combined only 2 interceptions total. Like, that shows complete maturation, shows that he is learning from his mistakes and is crushing it. 20 rushes for 57 yards and 4 rushing touchdowns again. So he's a dual threat quarterback. Very, very quick release, this guy. And he's an angry runner. Like, he wants to, when he runs, he wants to knock your helmet off. Like, he's a mean dude. He's got a knack for finding the holes in between the tackles and just running with no regard for human life, I guess. He seemed to figure out his ball security issues from 2023, like I said, has been lights out for the last 2 years. Very mentally tough as well and able to brush off mistakes quickly. Negatives, sometimes he gets sloppy when the pocket breaks down, I noticed, and some just makes him throw the ball without his feet set, maybe a little off balance. And also he can sometimes be a one-read QB at times just because he likes to look for his wide receiver one just a little bit too long. He needs to process faster. But, he's got a big frame, 6'4", 230, and like I said, he loves to run. He loves to run people over. Definitely a guy you should check out for the draft next year.
Yeah, I like all those picks. Really, really good. So for my wide receivers, you're not going to be happy because I'm leaving somebody out. But my first player that I have is Jordan Tyson, wide receiver for Arizona State. He has definitely emerged, I feel like, this season so far as kind of the top wide receiver prospect for next year. I think he'll continue to carry that out throughout the rest of the season. But he's 6'1", 200 pounds, runs a 4.5 40. He looks to be every bit of advertised as a true wide receiver one. His ability to separate and high point the ball and catch it in traffic, like he does a really good job. So I'm excited to see how he continues to progress over the rest of the season. Should be somebody that's a pretty obvious no-brainer, but definitely going to keep watching it.
Yeah.
My next person that I have on the list is Makai Lemon. You just talked about his quarterback a little bit at USC, but he is the wide receiver one. And if I'm the quarterback at USC, obviously I'm going to feed this guy the ball.
Yeah, this guy's a beast,
yeah. Absolute stud. 5'11", 190 pounds, runs a 4.4 40. His ability to run routes and separate and create space for himself is kind of unmatched so far this season. He finds himself in open fields all the time. He is able to separate and break away from people. I just think he's going to be a great wide receiver for some team next year that drafts him. Maybe the Browns, maybe not. We'll see. But I think that he could be a really, really good player fantasy-wise next year.
Yeah, he's already got 589 yards and 5 touchdowns and a 74-yard long touchdown this year too. So he's a big playmaker, Makai Lemon, for sure. Let's get picked, Dave.
Yeah. And then my last guy, you already know who it is. It is Nick Harbor, a wide receiver for South Carolina.
David thinks this guy's a sleeper. He's no longer a sleeper.
He no longer is. But this dude is 6'5", 240 pounds, runs a 4.2 40, just blazing speed. He honestly is kind of like a DK Metcalf, very much style. Like, hey, go run a 9. We're just going to lob it to you. Go catch it. He can do that. His hands, as you mentioned, may not be the best yet. He's still developing, I feel like, and growing into himself a little bit. So if he can continue to progress as the season goes along, show some more of those contested catches in traffic, and show some more like secure hands while catching the football, I think that he could continue to skyrocket up draft boards and be a really, really good asset next year for fantasy. I don't have the stats off in front of me. You might have them, but he's somebody that I think could definitely boost well having Lenore Sellers as his quarterback. So.
Yeah, so Nick Harbor, like you said, he's 6'5", 240 pounds, and runs a sub 4.340. This guy was an Olympic trial candidate for sprints. He's that big. I'm not kidding, and that fast. The only problem with this guy is, can he catch? I don't know. I mean, this year, 11 catches. Oh, how many sets lost? Of course it did. 11 catches, 220 yards and a touchdown, 64 long. He has blazing speed, but some people have said maybe he needs to put his hand in the dirt and use that speed to go after a quarterback instead of trying to catch balls from him. I still believe in him. I think that, I mean, it's hard to find a guy who's 6'5", 240 pounds and runs that fast. I just want him to be able to catch balls, because if he figures it out, he is going to be just one of the greatest things you've ever seen in the NFL. So, but it all depends on if he can catch the ball. Yep. Nick Harbor, wide receiver, South Carolina. Check him out. I really like him a lot, Dave. Good pick.
Thank you. Yeah. Honorary mention, Carnell Tate. OSU just is a factory for wide receivers. And, I mean, obviously Jeremiah Smith is not going to be draft eligible this year, but Carnell Tate is a dude. So definitely worthy of watching him for the rest of the year.
Yeah, he'll be a first-round pick, too. A lot of people say he'll be day 2. No chance. He'll be first
I mean, honestly, I hope he is. And then the Browns can get him in the second round. Fine. Don't have to twist my arm on that one.
Honorable mention for me for receiver 2, a guy named Chris Brazzell, wide receiver from Tennessee. This year, 31 catches, 531 yards, and 7 touchdowns. Seems to be playing really, really well. So just check him out as well. So, all right, I'm going to go to my running backs. We're going to pick this up a little faster here.
But, go for it.
No brainer here. My running back for the draft for next year, first one I'm picking is Jeremiah Love, 6 foot, 206 pounds, 4.4 40-yard dash. Pretty much the consensus top running back coming into this year.
He really should be the 101 for dynasty picks next year.
He is now, but you never know who emerges.
That's fair. That's fair.
Right now I would say he probably is the top running back candidate. 2023, 71 carries for 385 yards and a touchdown. 2024 last year, doubled those carries, 163 carries for 1,125 yards and 17 touchdowns. He also caught the ball 28 times for 237 yards and 2 receiving touchdowns. Right there, that's RB1 numbers. That's really good. And then this year, so far, 66 carries for 341 yards and 5 touchdowns. He does have a 46-yard long touchdown for the year. 13 catches for 149 yards and another receiving touchdown. Looks like he's picking up where he left off, so we'll see. He's really big, he's mean, and he's fast. He runs with a lot of power and has a knack for falling forward, which I like a lot too. We noticed that Quinshon Judkins has that issue right now in the NFL. He gets tackled, but you know what? He's going to get tackled for a yard or 2 forward because he's falling forward. I don't know why I said issue. It's more of a blessing.
A trait.
We can take all the yards we can get at this point. He's incredible in the open field. He can juke, spin, hurdle. And he always has a second gear, so when you think you got him, you probably don't. I'm talking about Jeremiah Love here. He's a legitimate 3-down back who can line up all over the field. He can line up the slot. He can be a receiver. He's got decent numbers as patch catcher out of the backfield. The negatives for him, not the best blocker. He needs to gain a bit of strength and make sure that he's just has like an anchor in front of the QB. right? I've seen him skate a little bit too much. So that would be an issue. Durability also would be a small concern.
Yeah.
He has a below average weight in the NFL, and he was hurt a little bit last year. And then, I'm just really scraping the bottom of the barrel here to find a lot of negatives for Love. I like him a lot. He'll probably be the consensus 101 in Dynasty leagues when it's all said and done next year. But like I said, we have a lot of the season left to go. So my second running back, I actually only have two this time. So Justice Haynes, running back out of Michigan, played for Alabama last year. 5'11", 210, runs a 4.49 40-yard dash. Very twitchy player. He's got great change of direction skills as well. Very good contact balance and just really like soft, natural hands. He can catch the ball out of the backfield really, really well. He can natural one-cut runner. He's got decisive footwork. He's really good vision. He can see cutback lanes, and he hits them with immediate acceleration. Also, he has an impressive second gear, which he can accelerate quickly and fast as well, just like Love. Negatives, although he's twitchy and has good acceleration, he doesn't have super elite speed. He just does run the 4.49, more like a 4.5. His pass protection is something that is less desirable as well at 5'11". And his route tree is not great either. He's usually just mainly catching checkdowns and screens and stuff like that. So if they could expand his route tree and get him out in the field more to catch balls, that'd be he'd be more efficient, I would say. Still really like him a lot. I think he'll be one of the top running backs coming out of the draft next year. One thing I would mention, he's obviously there with Bryce Underwood and Michigan, and I've seen some. When Underwood doesn't do well, or specifically one play I saw was a screen and no one blocked the screen, and Justin Haynes was visibly upset that the ball was going to throw in his direction because he got blown up. So, obviously something to look at. Maybe he's not the best leader. And a couple of things I just noticed. Also, I'm a Buckeyes fan, so I'm pretty biased at that. But I did notice that maybe not the best leader in the locker room. So,
good thing to keep an eye on. So for tight ends, I'll just get through these real quickly. I really just have the three guys that I feel like are at the top of the pack compared to everybody else. I have them in a different order than most people probably, but for first I have Kenyon Sadiq for Oregon. Right now he has 15 catches for like 250 yards and 3 touchdowns, I believe. Somebody who looks very reliable as a tight end in both the blocking and passing game. Somebody who could definitely emerge and looks to be like a good weapon for the Ducks right now. Next, after that, I have Max Clare for OSU. He is somebody who actually has been somewhat of a surprise, I feel like, for the Buckeyes this year. Monster's like, no, probably
I
not.
disagree. I wholeheartedly disagree.
As somebody who doesn't follow college football as closely as you, I feel like he kind of came onto the scene unannounced.
Last year.
Yes, but it's just been dominating. So
Max Clare last year was the top pass catcher, basically top player on the offense for the Purdue Boilermakers. He was top 3 in the running for the best tight end of the year, and then he was the top tight end in the transfer portal this year, and Ohio State got him. So I'm high on Max Clare as well. What's interesting to me is this is the deepest tight end room that Ohio State has ever had that I've seen. They're playing 5 tight ends currently, on rotation, which is insane, which is great for health, but maybe not the best for Max Clare's draft capital. But he don't get it twisted. He's one of the best in the college football, and he will be really good in the NFL. So. Yeah.
And then my last person that I have is Eli Stowers from Vandy. He is somebody who has, I feel like, emerged into the top 3 category for tight ends. Yeah. He's kind of the do-it-all person for Vandy and has become a stud for them. So
good hands too. So
yeah, those are my 3 that I got for the tight ends, and definitely worth keeping an eye on as we progress here for the college football season.
All right. Our last segment, FMFT, Fix My Fantasy Team, where we tweet out and have people comment questions or just anything related to fantasy where we can help you out. That's where we go. We only have 2 this week, which is nice because I'm tired. So
me too.
I'll read the first one. First one's from James Peters. He says, with Malik Neighbors out for the season, who do you think, if anyone, will fill his role? Obviously, those are large shoes to fill, but someone has to get his targets, right?
Yes and no. So obviously nobody's going to be to the same caliber of player on that team that Malik Neighbors was. He's the wide receiver 1 for a reason. He was just so special last year as a rookie, and it's a shame that he's hurt. But if anybody's going to benefit off of him being injured fantasy-wise, it's obviously Wan'Dale Robinson. Somebody who's led the team in targets before, has filled in before when Malik Neighbors has been hurt, and I think can kind of step in and become that like safety valve for that offense at wide receiver. And so that's who I would rely on as a wide receiver for the Giants only. Obviously, there's some other names out there, but he's the only one that I feel like would have any fantasy relevancy moving forward.
As David said, this Giants team is going to hurt without Neighbors. he's not only their wide receiver one, he's one of the best in the NFL. He's incredible. And it's sad because it looked like Jackson Dart was finally gonna get in there, and Neighbors was finally gonna get the guy who would give him the ball every time. But like David said, there are some fantasy relevant players on that team. Everyone is going to say Wan'Dale Robinson, including like David just said. And I agree, Wan'Dale is going to be the next guy up. He'll see a significant boost in his role in this Giants offense. However, I'm looking at one other guy right now currently, and that would be Giants tight end Theo Johnson.
I do like Theo Johnson.
I just traded for in my Dynasty League. Theo Johnson from Penn State, really big, fast, and he's incredibly athletic. He's one of those guys who's like, holy moly, one of the most athletic guys on the team. He's that really, really athletic. And now with, the rookie quarterback taking over, I can see Dart, dump it off to him, and he'd be a security blanket. He did score a touchdown last week. So obviously, they're just starting off with a good note. Obviously, they're going to look for Cam Scadaboo. They're going to look for Tyron Chasey, who was a former receiver and now turned running back, currently hurt. But, I would not sleep on Theo Johnson. I think he is going to be a really good player, and I think he might emerge here really soon with the playing of Jackson Dart. So,
yeah, I like that pick. It's good. All right, so this next question we got is from Carter. It says, hey, thanks for the input last week. For weeks 5 to 10, for week 5, in a 10-man PPR redraft league, we have Mahomes at Jacksonville or Fields versus Dallas for flex. And then Emeka Egbuka, Marks, or Montgomery for the flex.
All right,
which quarterback and which flex?
So absolutely. So if it's between Mahomes at Jacksonville and Fields at Dallas, I'm going Justin Fields versus the Dallas Cowboys. No second thoughts needed at all. Justin Fields, looks to continue off a decent performance, but playing the worst passing defense in the NFL right now, and that's the Dallas Cowboys. It's a no-brainer. Dallas is allowing an average of 297.3 passing yards per game, and Justin is going to have a field day.
Oh, like Fields Day.
Like that one. Also, for the flex question, he said flex one, Emeka Egbuka, Woody Marks, or David Montgomery. I am flexing Emeka Egbuka. Probably the rest of the year. He's the real deal. His snap count is really high. The opportunities are continuing to present themselves regardless of what other receivers are on the field. Mike Evans is in there. Mike Evans is out. Chris Godwin is in there. He's out. Jalen McMillan, I don't know where he's at. It doesn't matter because Emeka Egbuka is there to stay, and he's just going to continue to build the chemistry and continue to get the ball from Baker. He's currently wide receiver 7, and I just think he's going to get better and better as the year goes on. So I would go Justin Fields and Emeka Egbuka there.
Real quick question for this one, because I agree with you, but I'm also curious about David Montgomery because I feel like he plays a very, very easy defense this week. So let me just real quickly see who they're playing. They're playing the Bengals. Yes, I would flex David Montgomery. The Bengals team sucks. David Montgomery is going to be able to run all over them. I would start David Montgomery. But also, I'm with you on Justin Fields.
See, I don't know. David Montgomery sounds like a no-brainer. He had a really good game 2 weeks ago. But Gibbs is still there, and Gibbs is the 5th-ranked fantasy running back right now. And Montgomery's 18th. Gibbs has 13 more rushes than him and 30 more yards, another touchdown, and about 17 more catches. So as much as I love Montgomery, he is the running back. I'm not going to say running back 2, but running back 1B, So, it's just any given day, it depends who gets the ball and, who gets that snap percentage. With what I know guaranteed is Egbuka not only has the clear path, but he's already on the field. And he, pass catch, like you said, we're looking at Sterling Shepard and Emeka Egbuka right now on the offense. So, obviously, who's going to get the ball? It's going to be Egbuka, and he's going to get in the end zone. That's what I would say. I think I have a better chance of getting more points, but I could see the path where Montgomery could score a lot of points. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, that's fair. Either one of those two, I think you're good. Just don't start Marks.
I like Woody Marks, though. If you haven't picked him up in your leagues, you need to pick him up now. It might be too late, but clearly Nick Chubb has lost a step, and Woody Marks is – I thought he was the best pass-catching running back coming out of the draft last year out of USC. He's really, really good, and he's just going to get more and more of a role. And if he can continue to run the ball, which I didn't think was part of his game, run the ball successfully, that passing is going to be even more invaluable. So go check him out. I know he's probably a small percentage right now. Check it out. But Woody Marks, go check him out.
Yeah, definitely worth picking up. I wouldn't start him just yet, though.
No, he's 86% rostered right now. He just got picked up 40% this past week. So everyone's on Woody Marks, so disregard.
Right.
If he's not picked up, you should get him, though. All right, that is it, guys. We are done today. I did like 7 hours of prep work for this, which is insane. I need to figure out how to condense that. So holy crap. I'm tired.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much, and we'll see you next week.
Real quick, I just wanted to thank the Inside Edge Network for hosting us, LVP Productions, and Monster Moments Photography.com, MOSSOR Moments Photography.com. Go check them out for me. Thank you, guys. We'll see you next Wednesday at 9 o'clock for the
See ya.